It's the flavor right there. Y'all listen to flavor. Ganja weed, I heard me. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, it's that reggae album. If y'all ain't already know, y'all need to go ahead and check this out. SBCmovement.com, baby. You feel me? Got all the underground music, rap, hip hop, reggae, R&B, and soul, blues. It goes down. Yeah. I mean, y'all need to check us out. It's going down tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 Standard Time. www.sbcmavor, straight from Jamaica, live. Y'all ain't already sparked one yet, y'all. Catch up. Already. What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? Yeah, this is your boy, Mr. E. This is me, boss of the Southside Bosses right now, and you're listening to BOSS Radio Reggae Hour. That there was your boy, Mr. Flavor, with that ganja weed. You know what I'm saying? I had to put a little bit in there, too. I don't know if you can tell right now. Yeah, you can tell. I guess that's watching us on SBC TV, Facebook, and YouTube right now. I want to welcome all y'all and to Reggae Hour. We usually don't do too much talking on Reggae Hour. We like to bring the underground music from like especially on Reggae Hour, we do underground reggae rhythms and things of that nature, straight from the islands, or straight from Africa, or straight from all over the world. You know, everybody got their own form of reggae because you know everybody got their own form of life. It's all about culture and music, baby. So you know, but right now, I want to talk about something serious because we just found out today, you know what I'm saying, that they sentenced Bill Cosby to 3 to 10 years for sexual misconduct. And, you know, if he's guilty, then that's where he deserves that. You know, I'm not gonna fight everybody, you know, or try to say, you know, I really believe that he do it, you know what I'm saying? I don't believe that he did it in the aspect everybody think. I think everything went down. I just don't think those women were forced into it. But that's beside the point, you know what I'm saying? If he was guilty, then he deserves all 10 years, every day of the 10 years, you know what I'm saying? So definitely any sexual predator needs to be punished to to the fullest of the penalty of the law. But this is what it brings me to, you know, like I want to read a little bit about his sentencing, you know, but he pretty much was sentenced to like 3 to 10 years for drugging and sexually assaulting many women over the course of many years. You know what I'm saying? But it really was about the case that happened in 2004. And I'm sorry, I'm looking at this picture of this lady in this case, and I'm sorry, I'm looking at a meme too, and it says that if this is the chick that Cosby had to rape, to drug, then who drugged Cosby? You know, that's cold right there. But you know, like this is the lady. I'm trying to find her name right now, but pretty much she is the one that will get justice received justice for being sexually abused by Bill Cosby, and he did get to 3 to 10 years. And he started, I believe, last night in state prison, so he is locked up behind bars. And again, if he is guilty, then he needs to. We got a predator behind bars. I ain't gonna say another one because it seems like these people are just getting away with murder left and, or excuse me, sexual assault left and right. And one person I wanted to bring up was I know y'all remember back in 2015. I'm sorry, it was back in 2014. There was a 22-year-old, or excuse me, I forgot how old he was, but Brock Allen Turner was indicted on 3 counts of felony sexual assault. Let 3 counts. Now that's 3 counts to Cosby's one. Okay, so now let's go on a little further. You know, it's saying indictments January 28, 2015 on counts of rape of an intoxicated person, rape of an unconscious person, sexual penetration of an unconscious woman, sexual penetration of an intoxicated woman, and sexual assault, excuse me, assault with intent to commit rape. And it started on March 14, 2016. That's when the case started, the court. And they found him guilty on the last three, but the first two they withdrawn by prosecution. They dropped them pretty much. The prosecution dropped them. But Turner was sentenced to on June 2nd, 2016, to 6 months incarceration in the Santa Clara County Jail, to be followed by 3 years of probation. He was released 3 months early. Additionally, Turner must register as a sex offender for the rest of his life and participate in it. Yeah, we see how good that works. I don't know if y'all noticed, but people don't really have to do that anymore. I don't know what's going on with that. What the issue is that, you know, they used to be having to go around when they move into a new neighborhood and introduce themselves to their neighbors and put a sign out in front of the yard, so you know, tell you, sure, you see that sign right there, don't go nowhere near it, you know. But with Turner got 6 months, was indicted on 3 accounts, whereas Bill Cosby was only indicted on 1 count of sexual assault. And if I'm just saying, if Bill Cosby deserves 10 years for 1 count, then don't Brock Turner deserves 30, right? Or is it because Bill Cosby already lived his life, so even though he's 81 years old, you're gonna still throw him in jail and let him rot away for the rest of his life in jail? Because you know that's going to deteriorate his health. Because if it wasn't have been for his freedom to be able to get good health care, you know, he wouldn't probably lasted as long as he did. You know what I'm saying? But you know he's going to deteriorate in prison. I'm not trying to make no excuses. Don't get this wrong. I'm not trying to make excuses. What I'm saying is that if it is this is something, yeah, okay, I can understand that not all states hold the same punishment, but 6 months for rape, 6 months for rape. Don't you think we need to actually look at these punishments? Because maybe if we look at these punishments, we'll be able to actually stop people from actually doing it, or it will be more inclined for a person to think, okay, what if I get caught for this? Because one thing about murder, you can say about murder, oh, it murder, the punishment for murder is life or the death sentence, and that still doesn't deter murder. Well, and one thing with murder is that murder is actually an easy case to beat, whereas now rape, with the science that we have now, they don't they can actually find out who the rapist is. It's ways to find a rapist than it is more ways to find a rapist than it is to find a murderer. So we should be able to look at, okay, and if you we got one state that is holding a lesser sentence sentencing guideline than one other state. If you have the money and the power, you actually can be able to change venues from a state that holds a maximum penalty of 10 years to another state that has a maximum penalty of 6 months. And then you can plead guilty and get probation and be out there raping somebody else. I think that rape should be something that should be it can't it shouldn't be a state by state case because it is only one thing. It is the taking the most one of the most precious things from a woman. And no matter what state you live in, that woman, every woman in each state that gets raped has the same state of mind, the same state. So how do we get these women justice? Because even though Bill Cosby, excuse me, I'm some Bill Clinton, bringing in another type of sexual predator. Anyway, but Bill Cosby, he's already lived his life of luxury. He's 81 years old. He done went around and lived and seen all the world over, and he's visited the world over, and he's talked to many famous people. He has memories. You know, this man is going to be sitting in his cell recounting all of his memories from when he was living the life, when he was living the life. You know, and now these women, though, they were never able to get over that because this is something they always going to be thinking about. It's always going to be haunting them. This is with any rape victim, not just Bill Cosby's rape victim. You know, rape victims. This is any victim that experiences trauma like that. They're traumatized for life, meaning that even if their attacker is sentenced to prison, sentenced to life in prison, or sentenced to the death penalty, this is something that's going to wake them up out in the middle of the night with cold sweats. You know, this is something that every time they get close to them, or they try to get close to somebody, it's going to be very hard for them to get close to them because what if this is the same person? Because you know, most rape victims aren't raped by strangers; they're raped by people that they know and trust. So that's a breach of trust. How do you begin to build that trust back in order to show a woman that I'm talking from a man's perspective, trying to date a rape victim. You know, they have their guard already torn down. They don't believe that you really want to protect them. So now I, as a man, have to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that I am there for their protection. And that, so now you see that there's not only just the rape victim, the female, but there's also it affects all of society. You know, and you're right, prison isn't a good enough punishment. I'm talking about. Thank you, Connie. You hit that right on the head. Prison really isn't a good enough punishment. I think that when it actually comes down to rape or something like this, you know, I can't really remember the culture back in the ancient times. They used to turn them into eunuchs. They used to turn them into units. I'm not saying go that far. I'm not saying don't go that far. I'm just saying there's other punishments out there that can match the crime. Because ain't that what they say? The punishment should match the crime. And imprisoning someone. I'm gonna tell you where the justice come in at when you imprison somebody who is a rapist. The justice come in as if you send them to the right camp, if you send them to the right camp and somebody finds out why they were there, then yeah, the inmates will handle that. But the CEOs or the justice system, the judge, the lawyers, no, let the CEOs, I mean, let the inmates handle that. If you want to put them in population, let it be known what they in there for. You know, I guarantee you somebody's going to make them pay for it. But at the same time, though, this is something that the victims would never hear about because it's not supposed to happen. So, you know, the guards got to keep it on hush hush. So they don't get no satisfaction. If even if they were the type of people to take satisfaction in that and something like that, they wouldn't be able to get that satisfaction. But what if that victim isn't a person that would take satisfaction in harm being brought to another person? You know, what if they not that type? What if they're the type that hope that that person goes to prison and realizes the error of their ways, change their lives, and accept the Lord Jesus in their heart and change their life. You know, what if that you know say how do you up? See, this is why we have to revise the whole justice system. The whole legal system has to be revised. Uh, but yeah, and exactly, and then, like it's like thank you, Connie. That's a good point too. With the justice system, whenever they do go into prison, they first thing they say they do is they put them in protective custody. Why? Why? Was that person thinking about protective custody when he was taking advantage of somebody who couldn't protect themselves? But what we supposed to protect him? I don't want my taxpayer money paying for PC. I'm gonna tell you like that. I don't want my taxpayer money to pay for PC. Some of them people deserve not to be in PC. Some of them people deserve not to be protected. I'm sorry. If you can take advantage of somebody who couldn't protect themselves, you should be put in a position that would be proper punishment for you because then the punishment fits the crime. You can protect yourself. So you know, and damn, I didn't know that. I didn't know that PC was caused by a sex offender who was suing due to safety. For real? I didn't know that. Yeah, I did know. I did know somebody got to keep you safe in there. But one thing I don't understand is how somebody can put themselves in a deadly situation and then act like they supposed to be protected. You can't do that. You can't do that. And this is the reason why we don't have real proper a proper legal system. I mean, you got the 22-year-old. He gets away with sentenced to 6 months. Only do 90 days. Now all he got to do is just keep his nose clean for another 3 years. And then he gets scot free. He's off of probation next year. Next year he's off of probation. Where we have uh that we still got Bill Cosby, who's getting 3 to 10 years. We still don't know what's going to happen to Brett Kavanaugh, and we already know that Trump ain't gonna get indicted for nothing. We know this. If you don't know that Trump ain't gonna get indicted for nothing, then you don't understand the game that's being played right now. The game that's being played right now is take your enemies out. Take your enemies out at any cost, and they're gonna do that. This is what also makes me wonder about the Republican Roy Moore from Alabama. He actually was taken out from this. Like he didn't survive this, like Trump survived this, and apparently how Brett Kavanaugh might be surviving this. I still got an article to read where they said Trump may be rethinking his nomination for the Supreme Court, but at the same time, though, even if he's just rethinking it, he still has a chance to, not let these allegations go unfounded. I mean, that's unfounded. They continue to go unfounded because they won't let an investigation pursue. Mm-mm. I'm just saying, this man ain't even been arrested yet. He's been accused and ain't even been arrested yet. Where they do that in? What Brett Kavanaugh? Where did they do that in? The three women came out and said, yeah, that man was there. He did this and he did that, and he still ain't been arrested yet. See, and this is why we don't have the people. That's why it's rare that we have women that come out. Because I ain't gonna lie, it's suspect that they coming out after all this time. But I see why. I see why they take forever. These ladies take forever to come out. It's because who the hell would believe them? And when it comes to a situation like, oh, now we got a rapist that's going to be in the Supreme Court. No, we got to do something. Now we got to do something. I can't let this go right. And then they want to come out because they have to pick up their courage in order to come out and be like, you know what? I know people ain't gonna believe me, but at the same time, though, this has to this this has to stop. And we can't look at this as I'm sorry, it's not a case by case. Rape is not a case by case scenario. Rape is the taking of a woman's innocence in any kind of way because that's the worst thing you can do to a woman. That's the worst thing. A lot of people think breaking a woman's heart is the worst thing you do. No, that woman will rebuild her heart and it'll be just as strong and it would love just as strong on the next relationship. But when you take that woman's innocence, that's it. Who can she trust? And when she don't trust you, it causes a cycle. Innocent men get pulled into the cycle, and then they like, damn, what did I do? I ain't do nothing wrong. But you just don't know that man, innocent man don't know he's catching that backlash from what somebody who took from her should be getting, you know, but he's not there because he was a coward. He ran. No. Right. And okay, that's a good point. If a person gets, Connie says, if a person gets raped and the rapist pleads guilty, the victim doesn't get to face them in court, and many want to face them. Yeah, see, like I said, that when it comes to getting the justice is a case, maybe a case by case scenario, because you know some women would want to face that rapist after he's been sentenced. You know what I'm saying, and look them in the eye and get that closure. You know, and some actually say they don't, when in actuality they do. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to laugh about the situation. It just it's the feelings that these people are going through at the time. You'll never be able to understand unless you actually been through that. And I honestly, I can't fully grasp. I can just grasp what I'm seeing right now. What I'm seeing right now is that women who are being raped, victims of rape, are not being given true justice. They aren't. I'm sorry, they aren't. Now, you say that a person, I've actually heard somebody say that a person shouldn't lose their whole life just because they made one mistake. Rape is not a mistake. Rape is not a mistake. Rape is a conscious act. When that person says no, stop, and you choose to keep going, the key word in that is choose. You chose to keep going. So now, since you have scarred that person for life, your life now needs to be scarred. Just like the young, there's people out there who made a mistake when they was young, doing some drunk driving. You know, when you're drunk and your thinking is impaired, yeah, you can make some mistakes because you probably didn't choose to. You probably were just so inebriated you wasn't in your proper faculties. Now that's when mistakes could be made. So yeah, something like that shouldn't haunt you for the rest of your life. But guess what? It does. It does haunt you for the rest of your life. So if something like that is going to haunt you for the rest of your life, why can't a rapist lose his life, lose their life, period, his, her, whoever, because it ain't just men out there raping. It ain't. Yeah. I- Honestly, men, if you out there getting raped by by a woman, by anybody, you need to step up. I'm sorry, you got to step up. It's not fair. I'm not saying that it's a double standard. It just I'm sorry. As a man, me myself, I will I wouldn't, no, I wouldn't allow that to happen over and over. You know, that would not be something that and I would have to come forward if it was to happen to me. I would be the first to admit that, because it is a lifetime injury, and I'm trying to get over it ASAP, for one, and for two, if I don't come forward, it's because that person, the attacker, is dead. Point blank. But that's just how I'm just talking. Or how I feel about the situation when it comes to me. But man, you got to be able to talk about these things. Don't feel like your manhood is at stake. Because if you feel like your manhood is at stake, what do you think the women that go through this feel? You know, they don't. It's not they have their manhood at stake. It's not that they have their womanhood at stake. This is something that's painful, and yet they still come forward. This is something that is, like Connie said, a lifetime injury they know they're gonna have to live with, but they still come forward. So man, you got to start coming forward. If you're being sexually abused, you're being abused in any kind of way, harassed in any kind of way, you got to be able to come forward, because if you don't, we would never have true reform. We would never be able to have anybody that will come forward and stop the things that are going on. And the only way we're going to stop it is by bringing awareness to these things. You ain't bringing awareness to what's going on, then all you're doing is facilitating the problem. You're helping the problem grow. And we're not trying to let the problem grow. The way that we need to look at the system is this: we need stronger laws. We talk about gun laws. I'm sorry, but guns never killed anyone. Guns have been used to kill people. So let's put don't put more sanctions on how to get a legal gun because most of the time it's not a legal gun. But we need to definitely put more sanctions on these rape laws. I mean, what are we thinking about when we're thinking about giving somebody 6 months and then letting them go after 3? What are we thinking about when we say that just because that person has been accused of rape, that person shouldn't be automatically thrown in jail? What do we say when a person who is a witness to a crime, and we still say we don't need to question that person because that person already gave us a statement about another crime? Are you kidding me? What are we thinking about? I just don't understand where we get that from. Well, we don't understand. Well, it's a case by case scenario. And people are getting treated with special preferences because I remember a few years ago. I don't know if y'all remember about the dick tapping thing. Oh, y'all know, yeah, the foot tapping thing in the airports. Y'all. Let me remind you. About 6, 7 years ago, there was a couple of senators that got caught going into the airport bathroom and sitting in stalls and waiting for somebody to put their foot up under, with the divider that separates the stalls, to put their foot up under there and get tapped on so they can know if they're going to, I guess, glory hole it. Yeah, and this is the people who make our laws. See, of course, they're gonna pass laws or not pass laws that's going to punish a person who does something that they do. And these are lobbyists. To me, they're the same thing as lobbyists because they just lobbyists with the actual seat. They ain't got to lobby. They ain't got to sit in a lobby. They got to actually sit in the fucking senator seat, in the House of Representatives seat, pass laws that make their life easy and make it harder for the rest of us. I just don't understand why I can see Bill Cosby sitting in prison for 10 years, but I have to deal with the fact that Brock Turner, with 3 accounts of sexual misconduct, only got 90 days. I can't deal with that. I got to take a sip to that. I just don't get it. So until somebody can actually show me and prove to me that what I'm looking at is there's there's a situation there that I don't know about. Maybe maybe the girl was a prostitute, and since there wasn't really not enough evidence, he pled out to the 6 months. I don't know. But from what I'm reading, it was supposed to be a nice girl, a nice 22-year-old girl who went to college with him. And if she calls that justice, then that sets the standard for every other victim that comes after her. And that y'all shouldn't let that stay like that. That's all I'm saying. And I'm here to fight for that, bring awareness to this and that. We need so much legal reform when it comes uh to when it comes to sexual misconduct, because everybody is supposed to be able to live without fear being taken advantage of sexually. Sex is just so much of a wonderful thing. How can you desecrate that? You know, by you doing that, by you breaking a woman's confidence in one of the most beautiful things that nature has given us, you have done society a disservice. And since that victimizes every man that ever comes in contact with her that could love her, right? You should be punished severely, because these are probably children that won't ever be born that will carry this next generation and generations after that into the future. Just think of it like that. That's all I got to say about that. Thank you, Connie. I felt like this was a great show, and we got to definitely. If y'all don't know already, if y'all ain't tuned in to our last couple of shows and you ain't heard the announcement, me and Connie from So Radio, y'all need to check her out on that. You can be able to find her on Spreaker.com. You can find her on Facebook as well. But we definitely finna do a show with the underprivileged children. So y'all make sure y'all tune in for that. We ain't talking about just a regular radio show between radios. Now we talking about something big. So y'all keeping details. Y'all ain't already following us. Like I said, go find her page. It's MWAH XO Radio. find a follower, like a page. That way you can keep up with these details of what was going on. Because if you really want to see these, because let's just say this, even though children are born with a handicap or a mental deformity, physical or mental, or have say, what say, they don't mean that they don't want to be normal. And I think that we should treat them as if they're normal, because if you really want to get down to the nitty gritty, everybody just want to be treated normally. Everybody just want to be treated with love. And that's what we want to do. We want to actually do something to where we can make them feel normal. So y'all definitely need to go ahead and follow, like I say, follow Moi Etso Radio. That way you can catch the details about what we're going to be doing soon. For real, because like if you need to bring any kind of awareness to, we got a platform. So definitely bring y'all stories to us. You can email me at southsidesubmissions@gmail.com. Let me know whatever story y'all want to bring to awareness, and we'll definitely get that get you a slot in and have let you bring it out. And artists, really trying to get your music heard, like especially reggae artists. You know, this is Reggae Hour. You need to hit us up at southsidesubmissions@gmail.com as well. You can go ahead and follow our website at www.sbcmovement.com. If you ain't already like our page, go ahead and like our page, the Southside Boss Connection on Facebook. You can join our group, Southside Bosses, and this group here, True Heritage, where you'll be able to hear all types of jurisprudence, civics, law, economics, things of that nature that we like to talk about here. If you want to go ahead and follow us on Instagram and Twitter, is Southside Bosses as well. And we're looking forward to speaking to y'all again. You know, this was a great show. I hope y'all listen to that and want to make some changes to this legal system, because we definitely need to do something out there. All right, Connie, it was great talking to you tonight. We're gonna be looking forward to that next show. And hey, everybody, this is your boy, Mr. Flavor, again tonight. Yeah, I'm gonna say tonight because it's already Thursday, right? But yeah, tonight, 7 p.m. is going down. Y'all make sure y'all tune in. 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mr. Flavor, straight from Jamaica, gonna be going live on BOSS Radio, Underground Interviews. You heard me? This is Let's Dance Tonight, and you listening to BOSS Radio. So come on, party. Hey, hey, hey. It's the party and I just got paid. Call the party, call the vibe, okay. We are like shorty dogs in the night of way. And I myself was a pizza birthday. We are all at a pizza holiday. Don't matter what we like, they're gonna say.